Hi, everybody. This is Stacia with Progress with Chess, and I'm here with Amogh Tripathi. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Amogh has been on a tear. He's getting a lot of rating points, winning a lot of games, and so he is actually here to share with us one of his best games as of late. And it's a very exciting game, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
let's go. So show us this game.
All right. So knight f3. So I am one of those players who does play close positions. So g6. This was a more King's Indian Catalanish structure. Castles d6, King's Indian theory. C4. So grabbing the center. If someone gives you the center, you have to grab it. So usually this is the theme in a fianchetto where you want to destruct the bishop so that the light squares around the king are weak. Bishop f4. So this move was to one stop e5 and locking up the center and keep e5 in mind for me, because after e5 I think my pieces really come to life. So he played h6. So I think he wanted to go g5 because my bishop on f4 is a monster. But before he does that, I just need to get e5 in, because now g5, you really can't play g5 because your knight's under attack, and then your bishop would be under attack, so you would lose two pieces for one. So he took, and I took with the bishop. So one, I wanted to give up my bishop for the knight, because then you really can't control my d-pawn, which is a monster after the knight comes off. And two, I wanted to go d5 and knight to d4, so I didn't really want to misplace my knight on e5. So knight c6, I went queen b3, because now if you take, you just invite my knight into a beautiful square as well. So now I think e5 is a better square for my knight than d4, considering the fact that my queen is off. So now I want my rooks on the open file. So he takes, creating the light square weaknesses around my king. But I don't think the king side is the area you should be focusing on if you're playing black, because I'm attacking in the center right now. So he went takes, which I think is a bit of a mistake, because after take, I have simple plans of just putting my rooks on the open files, semi-open and open files, and just rolling this pawn. So c6 to prevent future d5, which would then make it an isolated pawn and a weakness. So I have a rook e1 to go after this pawn, which is a slight weakness in the future. So I went e6 to consolidate it. Rook e1, so putting all my pieces on the open files, and now d5 is possible because then my pieces come to life. c5, I think this is a big mistake, because all white is trying to do here is just go d5 and create a passed pawn or get a monster knight. And really, the only thing that was stopping white's progress here were these two pawns. So after you go c5, you really just give me the d5 square. So I went d5. He took. I took back with the knight. So knight e7 was a serious threat, forking the king and the queen. So you have to take, or you have to move your king or queen. But really, where can you move your queen? Because after here, you're really getting attacked here. This is simple for me now. All I have to do is just bring my other rook into the 7th, and I'm sure the engine evaluation is at least +2 here. So yeah, you were pretty much obligated to take here. Pawn takes. So now this pawn's a passed pawn, and it's pretty supported by my pieces. So rook e8, f4 to keep my knight on e5, which is the monster. Now if you take my knight, then pawn takes, and you only helped me because now you give me another pawn next to my passed pawn. So now this pawn, for example, you do something, d6, and this pawn's defended, and d7 is a fork. Rook d8, and then possibly just here, and white's completely rolling white over here. So here you played queen c7, And here we use the theme of a discovery. And so we use the theme of a discovery and we fork them basically. So here we played d6, and this is a fork because the queen on c7 and the pawn on f7 are being attacked. The queen on c7 is being attacked by the pawn on f7 by the knight. And you really can't defend both, because if you say try to move the queen, then I'll just take here. I'll take here, and this is a fork. Say they try to move d, then I can always go here. And this is completely busted for black. So it was here on move 21 that my opponent resigned the game. Just simply being you can't defend f7 and your queen. You have to give up one or the other. Both will be resulting in a huge advantage for me. And yeah, here you resign. So
Yeah, I think he played the best move in this position. Resigns. Resigns was correct. Bravo. Excellent game. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you in the future. And do you have any advice for any other players that are trying to improve at chess and improve their rating like you've been able to do? Because you were just like, weren't you just like 1600 just like a few months ago, like 3 months ago? And now what's your rating right now?
1944 right now.
Wow, so. Incredible. So what advice would you have for other players?
I think you just need as much tournament exposure as you can, because just like basketball, chess is a game where you're gonna get nothing. It's not gonna pay off until you actually play. So studying a lot but not playing is not gonna really be helpful. So you have to play eventually, and you want to get as much tournament exposure because you'll get to know the different lines that are trending, and different possibilities that people play. And don't get super mad at your mistakes unless it's a really bad one, like wandering your queen or something. Try to learn from your mistakes, because I think 95% of how I grew was learning from my mistakes. Because before that, my winning percentage on US chess was 26%. So I was losing a lot of games. So I think learning is a really good, learning from your mistakes, asking a coach, putting it into an engine, and reviewing your game yourself. They're all big advantages that you have. So I think learning from your mistakes and not being, actually you should be happy that you lost, because you get to learn from your mistakes, and it only makes you a better chess player. You learn more from losing than you do from winning. So just learn from your mistakes, get as much tournament play as possible, and gain 300 rating points.
Well, as someone who loses a lot of games, I'm really happy to hear that advice. Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing your game.
All right, I was glad.
Okay.
Thank you.